Hey y'all, it's Ren of Taurus Rising, back with you this week for our weekly wellness check with tarot. And this week is very special because we are in the thick of Leo season, but also because there's a full moon on Saturday, and it's a full moon in Aquarius, I believe. I've heard different titles of this moon. I've heard that it's the sturgeon moon. I've heard it's the corn moon. But regardless of what kind of moon it is or the sign that it's in, the full moon is generally a great time to reflect on progress around intentions, and also releasing what doesn't serve you. So, like, the new moon is really a good time to set new intentions, and then full moon is like kind of reflecting on those intentions, so tracking your progress. So that's one thing to think about. Also, maybe detoxing or releasing things that aren't don't serve you, that you want to take into your next cycle and like clear. So today I thought we'd do a spread that I learned during my tarot training, through Betty Tarot, and it's a 3 card spread, and basically it's like, what do I need to stop doing, start doing, and continue doing. So I thought that would be a really great spread to use for during the full moon, since it's about starting new things or making progress on things, and also releasing things that are holding you back. And today I'm using the Radiant Rider White deck. I like it because it's got the traditional symbolism, and also it's very vibrant in color. All right, here we go. So 3 card spread, stop, start, and continue. Okay, shuffle it a little bit more. And lay it out. I like to kind of lay it out in a pile and then pull the cards that are calling to me. Okay. Here we go. Stop. Ooh. Start. Nice. And this one is calling me. Continue. Very interesting. We've got a mix of major arcana cards and also minor, and a mix of reversed and upright. So our first card, for what do we want to stop doing, it's very interesting. It's our Magician, and this is a major arcana card. And the Magician is really, to me, I think about control, using the things in your environment to control and make things happen, like almost alchemy, like trying to like move things along, trying to make things appear. But this is what we were supposed to stop doing. Very interesting. And just a quick reminder, this is a collective reading, not an individual reading, so some things may not resonate. All right, yes, our Magician. We are, I guess, during this full moon, this is supposed to be maybe more of a hands-off, surrendering type of thing. So this is very much a very action card, uh, an action card around making things happen, but also playing with the universe, kind of, back and forth between, the Magician and the universe, and trying to make things happen, because it's a dance, right? The manifesting and magic. It's not just a solo one-person job. It's a collective effort. But there's something here around that I'm getting is like, stop trying to use your tools so much. Stop trying to make things happen. It's more of a sitting back. So we're supposed to stop overly trying to manifest, maybe. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Maybe something else will come up. I don't know. And obviously, y'all feel free to comment around your thoughts. But that's what I'm getting, is more of a easing back. So stop working so hard. Maybe stop efforting. All right, I'm going to put this down for now, and we're going to move to our next card. Well, before I do that, this is sort of the overview. Very masculine, because there's kings and the Magician, and in this traditional deck, it's very like kind of binary. So just naming that. So I'm getting a lot of more masculine energy in this reading. not that it's necessarily gendered, but the masculine is more action and doing, whereas like the sun, solar, whereas the moon is more receiving and more feminine. So not so much thinking about gender, but more action versus surrender. So lots of kind of more action cards here. So I'm going to put the Magician down for now, and so we're going to go to our next card, which this is what we're supposed to start doing, which we've got our King of Cups. So King, obviously that's more kind of masculine in a traditional sense. And then cups represent water and relationships and like emotion, more like creativity, more flowiness. So we're supposed to maybe start doing more of that, more flowiness, more openness. But it's reversed, so that shows some maybe resistance towards that, maybe resistance towards the vagueness, the wateriness of like more water signs versus the action do. Like we should do this. This is our to-do list. Start taking action here. And it's funny because the Magician is very yellow and bright and like very, to me, I think fiery. And then this is more blue, more like calming, soothing colors. Also, I'm getting from blue is more, crown chakra, like higher chakras, like spirituality, like connecting to something greater, which involves stillness and surrender so you can hear things, versus action. I can definitely have the habit of doing too much and be almost productive procrastination and always doing, and I can't really let things percolate or simmer or hear things that I need to hear or have clarity because I'm too busy doing. So that's what I'm getting from this, is to start having more openness, flowiness, quiet. If you can see, the King is almost like, well, I'll flip it over so you can see it better, not reversed. It's almost like he's on this little island of water. He can't, he's surrounded by water. He can't like go jump off, go to the store, or, do air, because he's like has to chill. Like he's just in the water. He can't really go many places. He has to float or get himself to the shore. So he's sort of, it's a forced surrender. Going back to the reverse card. And I also think of like a balance of the reversed King of Cups, maybe is asking for more of a balance between like the doing and the receiving. So there needs to be more of a balance between doing and receiving, and calm and wait and listen and meditation, and stillness, so that you can actually hear the things that you need to do versus just do, and doing and taking actions, because then there isn't the space. Just like in music, there needs to be notes and rest, notes and space for things to be coherent and balanced. Or even in conversations, there needs to be words and space between the words for the conversation to flow, for messages to be communicated and received. So what I believe this card is asking for is more of a balance of the doing and the receiving, the doing and the waiting, and more of a balance of like solar and lunar energy, if you will. Yeah, and then our next card, our continue, we've got yet another King of Wands. And what I'm getting from this is, the King, like I mentioned, more masculine energy, which, it's not gender, it's about more action and doing. So it's not that we're supposed to stop doing completely. It's just, it needs to be like productive action versus just action for the sake of action. Like versus the busy work where you're just, okay, I'm moving around because I feel like I need to be moving around, because if I'm moving around, that means I'm being productive, right? But sometimes that's not so much the case. Sometimes I've heard this saying, the opposite is the medicine. And by doing less, you might actually get more. So that's what I'm getting from this card, is like, yes, take action, but be discerning with your action. What's cute in this card, there's like a little lizard in the bottom. That always peeks out to me when I see this card. Where I live, I see these little lizard guys a lot. when I'm on a walk, they kind of scamper. And usually when I'm on a walk, it's because I'm doing something in nature. I'm taking a break between things. I'm tending to my doggie who needs to go on a walk. And to me, that lizard is speaking to me specifically around, out in nature, and like being mindful of the lovely things you see out when you're in nature, just observing and witnessing nature, such as the little lizard scampering by. And so that in itself is productive action, that rest, that taking time between tasks to go outside, be in the sunlight, get some vitamin D, um, get out into nature. So sometimes those things that are quiet and restful are actually more productive than just forcing solutions and forcing more like outcomes. So to kind of recap our reading here, what we're supposed to stop doing is to being so productive where we're trying to make things happen like magic, like always trying to like even manifesting in magic. That stuff is beautiful, but sometimes it can be too much where we're trying, what's on my manifestation list? Sometimes I can be guilty of that, of, okay, what else am I going to manifest? That doing energy, it's too much of doing, and like there needs to be that pause to receive and for things to percolate, or for there just nothing to be done so things can be quiet. So there's that space for new ideas to come through. Sometimes doing nothing is doing something. So being less action oriented. And what we're being called to do more of is to have a balance, like have more receiving energy, more quiet, so that you can connect with your ideas, connect with your higher self, or whatever you believe in, a higher power, if you believe in that. And then our continue is to, yes, take action, but as long as it is aligned and intentional and discerning action, not just action for the sake of doing. And so that is our weekly wellness check reading, centering around going into this full moon and into our next cycle of what do you need to stop doing, start doing, and continue to do, so that you can manifest and call in and be in alignment with your authentic intentions and goals. Thanks so much for joining me for this weekly wellness reading with tarot. If you want to work with me one-on-one, please go to my website or even DM me on Instagram, and we can set something up. I like to do Reiki as well as tarot sessions, and also a combination of the two. So check me out, go to my website and or my Instagram, and I hope to see you there. Either way, I'll see you here next week for our weekly wellness reading.